Welcome back. In this week's video, I wanted to go over how I use Addigy to deploy some different types of software. So there are a couple of different ways you can deploy software in Addigy. There is the Apple Volume Purchase Program method. There is uploading a custom file or package. And then there is Addigy's public catalog. We'll run through each of those now. We're going to start by the Volume Purchase Program method. So for that, we want to go into Policies. And then in the policy, we want to push the app out to. And then across the left here, we'll go to Software, Apps and Books. And in here, it will show you a list of all the apps you have in Volume Purchase Program for iOS, iPadOS, and macOS. All you have to do to deploy one is check one, click Add Remove, and Add to Policy, and confirm. And that will get pushed out on the next check-in. I also usually turn on auto update for those. Now this method does require you to already have the volume purchase program set up. I do have another whole video on that, which I will put in the description down below. But once you have that set up, this is all you have to do to actually deploy an app. Moving on to our second way, which is Addigy's public library. That you can find again in software and then public library. And in here are all of the different items that Addigy builds. So if you wanted to deploy something like 1Password, all you have to do is click the version you want to deploy. Typically that's the latest, add and remove, and add to policy. You can also always come up to the top here and filter by what's in the policy or in the parent. That helps narrow down when you're trying to figure out what you've deployed. The third way is to upload your own installer or app to Addigy that you've already built. This is for a scenario where Addigy doesn't have a installer for what you're looking to do, or there's not an app store version. This is where you would want to use this. So these typically fall into two categories. Either it's just a .app file, something like a Chrome you would download that's just coming in as a .app, or PKG files. The PKGs are the best option or the easiest option. As you'll see here in a second. If you do have a .app file, I recommend using something like Jamf Composer. There are other apps that do these kinds of things as well that basically let you put that .app file into a PKG so that when it's run, it gets installed in the applications folder. That's the best way to handle that deployment. So what we're going to do for this example is I'm going to show you how to turn a .app file into a .pkg and then how to upload that and deploy that in Addigy. The same process will be the same if you already have a .pkg, you just won't have to do this first step. So I'm going to use Jamf Composer for this example. So once I'm in that here, I can open my applications folder and I can take an app, let's just say Arc, the Arc browser, and drag and drop it here into packages. And that's going to copy it over to Composer and create it so you can see where it's going to put it in the file path here. Now, a couple of things. Before you do this, you'll want to make sure if it's an app that you're just deploying for the first time and don't even have it on your computer, make sure you open it first. This gets rid of the dialog where it says this is downloaded from the internet. Are you sure you want to open it? Once you have that in here, you have it in the applications folder and you can see it's in there. Now then I build as a PKG. Save that to the desktop. So once that's done, we'll be able to see then on my desktop here is that package. So let's move back over to Addigy here. And we're going to go to Catalog and Software and then Smart Software. And we're going to click New. And we're just going to call this Arc. And in a real deployment, you'd want to put the version in here. That way you can run updates on it easier. We're going to select our file and do New. We're going to click and upload and click on our Arc package. And upload and mark as selected. And we're going to click Select. And what it's going to do is it's going to detect the apps, and we'll get to why that's helpful in a minute. But what we're going to do is click Add under Install Command. And that's going to add the run package command basically that just tells it, hey, go ahead and install this. So the next thing we want to do is go down here to attached profiles. And this is where, when it was saying detecting app comes in handy. is you can see it has one app found, and we can automatically go and create a PPPC, a service management, or a system extension profile for it. For this, all we need to do is create a PPPC for it. And in here, then you'd be able to set your permissions as you would like them. For this example, we can just set it to all the defaults here. And then here you can also get fancy and create some conditions saying if the application already exists, don't install, or if the application exists but it's above a certain version, don't install. If you need to, you can set the system architecture to Intel or Apple Silicon. You can also add some custom icons and descriptions if you were to add this to self-service. And you can add a removal command so that if you remove this app from the policy, it goes and runs some kind of an uninstaller. Once you have all of those set up the way you want them, you can click Save. Then you can go back to your policy, go to Software, Smart Software, and now we can see our ARC version in there. Check it, click Add Remove, Add to Policy, and confirm. And that's it. Those are the 3 ways that you can deploy different types of software in different scenarios to your Macs and iOS devices utilizing Addigy. If you have any questions about this, about how to do some specific tasks, or just have any other Addigy questions, feel free to drop them as a comment down below. Or if you have an issue that's specific to you and your business and you'd like some hands-on help getting that resolved, we'd love to help you with those. I can be reached at Marshall_CIT on the Mac Admin Slack channel, Marshall@cranstoninc.com via email, or on our website, cranstonit.com. Thanks for watching.